Hey everybody, welcome back to Enigmatica 2 Expert Pack. A lot of work has been done off camera thanks to the RF Tools Builder. And with a fantastic source of food for all of our nutrition, we can start to move on to some really big projects here. And I've prepared a list, and the first one we're going to tackle today is Applied Energistics 2. Now, I have no idea how challenging that's going to be, but it should be good fun, so let's just get straight into it. So first one we want to try for is the ME drive, and it looks like we don't have any of it. Brilliant. So we need an inscriber. Alright, big rabbit hole to go down. First step is going to be some Fluix dust, so that is charged Certus quartz, redstone, and nether quartz. Alright, 2 stacks of Fluix crystals. So the inscriber is going to take a block of Fluix crystal, 2 sticky pistons, reinforced stone, and a machine casing, which we have on replication with our UU matter now, so 1 inscriber. Next step are going to be these iron casings, which I think we have some hardened casing already, but tin electron tubes will need the thermionic fabricator, so 4 gold gears. We'll just put some gold in the hopper. Oh, it doesn't work. Interesting. Alright, well let's just throw all of it there and see if that works. It does, perfect. So there's our gears. We then also have a sturdy casing, impregnated casings. I don't think we have any hardened casings though. So hardened casing is sturdy casing in the carpenter with some diamonds. So let's find our carpenter, and we want that with a sturdy casing. And then we need water, 5 buckets of water. I think we have an infinite water generator here, and we've got some fluid conduits. So let's just set that on insert and set that to extract, always active. Boom, done. There we go. So now it's making us a hardened casing. Done, 1 hardened casing. We're actually going to scan that because it can be replicated. So we'll just wait for this to get scanned and then we'll come back for the thermionic fabricator. Right, so now we actually don't have to do that chain again. We can just go single run, wait a little bit, and we will have another hardened casing. Beautiful, isn't it? Better UU matter generation is on the card for today as well. So we'll head back, we'll make our thermionic fabricator, which is a quest, very nice. So we're gonna need some tin electron tubes, which means some glass, some tin, and some redstone. That is not too bad. So we'll grab some tin, some redstone. I think we can use sand for this. Let's just find out. We'll go tin electron tubes, press that. 1, 2. You also need to put that in there, of course. I've not actually used forestry before. It's a very interesting mod. I gotta say, some of the farming stuff looks very interesting. If cyclic wasn't in the pack, I would definitely be using it more. But let's get our quest and see what we get. That's kind of useless now that we have the Plowman's Lunch. Alrighty, so let's take our electron tubes then. Oh wow, that gave us a whole... No, I didn't realize it was that much. So iron casing now requires another hardened casing and some iron sheet metal. Alright, so let's make 4 iron plates. Get the sheet metal, replicate another hardened casing, make our new iron casings from Actually Additions, scan it, quest rewards, all scanned up, save it to the memory, import, and now we can replicate it. So back to crafting. What more do we need? We probably need to place down the inscriber. So we're going to need some iron item casings, some engineering presses, which are going to be printed silicon. Okay, so we need the inscriber presses. We're going to have to go searching for those, I'm pretty sure. Because then the printed one needs the engineering press. Right. So we may as well finish off everything else and then work on those later. So we need 1 plate of iron. Take that plate, make it into a casing. And now we need this disk drive, which takes a raw circuit board, which is clay and cactus dye. So we don't have any cactus yet, so let's see what the other part is. The microchip, which is the transistor, so we need some paper. So we have our transistors, our microchips. Okay, now all we're missing is this PCB, which is clay and that green dye that we need. So now we need to explore for some cactus and our inscribing presses. So I'll see you back when we've got those.
2 hours later.
Oh my word. Go, it's lucky our sword is so good. I hate whatever this is. Oh my gosh. Why can that hit me from such a big range? I think we're safe. I think I just found one as well, which is nice. An iridium cleaver, you say? Very cool. We'll be using that for wither skeleton heads. But here's the meteor, so let's just see. We'll vein mine it. There's the chest. Oh, it's got everything. Oh, that's handy. Right, so Continue to explore, find the desert. Well, we've got all the presses, so we just didn't find the desert. And I've learnt about the nature's compass. Can't believe I forgot this. So now we can actually find biomes. So let's search for a desert. It's that direction. Yeah, the one direction I didn't go. I went very far to the north. So off we go to the desert. Alrighty, so we found some cactus next to a modest hive. Still am scared of bees, but we've got cactus now. We can grow it, I hope. But maybe we'll just collect a little bit more. Also, terracotta is going to be crazy. We'll grab some more cactus. And then we are definitely going to want some terracotta. Actually, maybe it wasn't that useful. Yeah, starting to think that it might not have even been that useful to grab a bunch of terracotta. But that's okay. Let's get more cactus while we're here, and then we'll head back home. Righty, so back at home, we can finally make the PCB by just smelting our raw circuit boards. I don't think they have any other usage. No, they do not. And then the PCB will allow us to do a lot of things, actually, it looks like. Although I can't imagine how much usage all of this is going to have because I am not smart enough to use open computers. Alrighty, so disk drive. Now we're missing our engineering presses, that's right. We have to figure out how we're going to make silicon. And it says it accepts any type of silicon, so let's see what nuclear crafts is. Crushing sand in a mechanism crusher. You know what? I like that. Righty, so let's crush some sand into silicon. Boom, that's quite easy. And then we need engineering silicon presses. There we go. So we've got a silicon press. We'll just make 8 of them. And you have to manually insert. Oh my, this will take a while. Well, it looks like we might be able to speed the Inscriber up with the advanced Inscriber. So let's see if that works. So we need... Oh, well, forgot to actually make the presses first. So let's actually make the presses first. There we go. And then we can make the advanced Inscriber. Good. So what we need for it is 2 hoppers. So there's 2 hoppers. That's pretty easy. Now we grab our Inscriber. And we have our advanced Inscriber. So let's see if that means that we can put the silicon press in there and then put in all 56. We can. It, however, is not receiving any power from this system. So that's less than useful. Right, so it turns out to actually make the advanced Inscriber, we need an energy acceptor first. And the energy acceptor, we need 2 Fluix blocks. Going to need some ME cable, which is quartz fiber. So quartz, dust, and glass. So we can just crush up some quartz, make our quartz fibers, make some ME glass cable. Now we need some vacuum tubes, which are nickel plates, redstone, copper wires, and glass. That's fine. And we actually got charged quartz fixtures as a quest, I believe. There we go. We have a charged quartz fixture. We want a nickel plate, some copper wire. Now we need the plate, our wire, a piece of glass, a piece of redstone. We make our vacuum tubes. And then that's it. We have our energy acceptor. Doesn't appear to be a quest. We need to make an ME controller for that. And we need to make another energy acceptor. So let's get another charged piece of quartz. See if we can make another one. So we need 2 Fluix blocks. We need another nickel plate. That's the wire mold. Let's put the plate mold on it. So more vacuum tubes. And then we need the engineering press again. So there is the engineering circuit. And now the processor. So our second energy acceptor. The controller is going to take a lot. That looks ridiculous. Bioplastic. Ah, that's easy. Fluix pearl. Okay, none of that is too difficult, but it's a lot of microcrafting. So I'll see you back when we have the controller. Alrighty, and ME controller unlocked. We now have applied energistics. And I think... Let's just see how hard it is to make the pure crystals. So seeds. All just the seeds. Alright. Well, I think that we can just use regular nether quartz for that stuff. So pure nether quartz looks like the least useful part of this. Pure Fluix. I think all this can use regular Fluix as well. Pure. Can that use regular? Can use regular. But I think this Inscriber needs the pure Certus quartz. So let's accept the pure Certus quartz crystals. Alright, so there's no quest page for applied energistics, but I think we should just set up a terminal now. So we've got... Well, first, let's get some more of those processes to actually finish the ME drive. Right, so now we make the drive. We're almost ready for moving it. Oh, where did we get 32 smart cables from? So now we need to make our crafting terminal, and that's going to take some quartz glass, an illuminated panel, some logic processors, some annihilation cores, some formation cores. We can make our ME terminal, and then finally our crafting terminal. My goodness, this is a mess. A much bigger table. Well, that's fantastic. Time to make some drives. Drives don't actually even appear to be that bad. We can already make 7 1K drives. I think it's the storage housings that are going to be the biggest problem here. So we need some more quartz glass. So we'll need, that is 2, 4, 6, 8. We are going to need over a stack of iron plates, and we're actually almost out of iron. My goodness. Alrighty, so we need a stack for the chests, and then we need 2 iron plates per. Okay, so that should be enough. So we need 7 iron chests, and then we can make 7 storage housings, and then we can just combine those together to make the housings. Good. Perfect. So we're not going to combine them because they're not going to stack. Cool. I think let's set it up here, see how much we can actually import into our system. At least the important stuff. Like from here, this is all the important stuff that we've been using for crafting. And then we basically set up AE2, which was the first goal of this episode. You know, I was actually having so much fun making this system that I completely forgot that I was supposed to be recording a YouTube video. But luckily for you, I'm not forgetful. So how this system is going to work is we have a mob crusher and a mob slaughter factory, which are just really simple industrial foregoing machines. Then we take a drop of evil, and we're going to place it on this dirt floor here, which should turn it into a permanent spawning location. And absolutely spam mobs. And all we have to do is make sure these are powered, and they'll constantly kill things. Simple, right? Obviously, this power solution is temporary, but then all we do is we check, yep, these are actually all full. So we're going to have 3 fluids here that will be coming through. We'll have pink slime, liquid meat, and essence, it looks like. So we should make sure that we have tanks for all 3 of those, which basic fluid filters look really easy to make, so we'll do that. But I really want to see this working, so let's try it out. There we go. It's now cursed earth. We'll make sure we keep this area chunk loaded, and then we'll block that off and see what happens. I should get some glass in there so I can see. Well, I'm hearing lots of mobs dying. Oh, of course, the trash can actually has its, nothing can be inserted into the controller yet. So let's just do that and then see what mob drops we're going to start getting. So turn this one off. All right, perfect. So we want our gunpowder, inferium essence, zombie brains, rotten flesh, bones, arrows. We've got a terrasteel cleaver. Eventually, we're going to be able to do stuff with all of these tools, but for now we can't, so we'll have to bin them. And here we go. So zombie drops, creepers, inferium essence definitely, then skeleton drops. Okay, so we'll have to bin that. Of course, heads, ender pearls. We've got spider drops that we're going to need to look out for. That's a lot of essence. Oh my goodness me. So spider drops as well. We'll need to put a spider eye there. We definitely want as many ender pearls as possible. And then let's just put some heads up there, arrows. So we'll definitely want to start having these getting repaired. And I have seen an item for this armor, or nano suit, we can't do anything with, so that'll be binned. But things like inferium, if we repair them, I do believe we can melt these down in the immersive engineering arc furnace and get our inferium ingots, which we can use for lots of stuff. Same thing with the boron, the ironwood. I do believe ironwood is used in, eventually the ultimate ingot. And some other stuff, but we need to make sure that this system works before that. And we also want to set up our tanks. Beautiful. There we go. So now the system is working perfectly. It's getting tons and tons of mob drops. We're also going to want fortune upgrades in here to get even more mob drops. But the first one that we actually really need access to are going to be these ender pearls. We have 2 of them. We're going to need more for our vibrant alloys and things like that. But let's get some glass in there so we can have a look and see what's going on. Well, now that's a bit better, isn't it? Turns out the open block tanks look really pretty, are very clear. And with the lighting that we've got going on here, no mob spawns in here, and all on the cursed earth. Now, hopefully this means we can actually have both machines running, because I'm looking here and seeing that there's a few mobs that are kind of still lingering around. So let's turn both machines on. And now we can get our yummy pink slime, meat, essence, and our mob drops, which the wall is slowly expanding, and we now have 8 ender pearls, which is great. And boy, I just love modded mob farms. Nothing beats just seeing a bunch of cursed earth and 2 little machines in the wall to kill everything. So it's been a hot minute at the mob farm, and some things have changed. For one, we do now have a full tank of essence, which will be used in some mob duplicators eventually, but that's for later. We've got some pink slime, beautiful, beautiful pink slime, and some meat. We don't really care about the meat that much, it's not very useful for us now, but pink slime and essence are useful. And if you have played Enigmatica 2 Expert, you will know that a lot of mobs spawn with some pretty high tier armor on them. And you might have also noticed that we now have a quantum suit chest piece, or quantum suit body armor. And it was actually quite simple. Our sorting system here has the bin on -2 priority. It has the draw controller on a priority of 1. And it has the purple crystal shulker box that I got as a crest award set on priority -1. Which means that this shulker box will fill up with any of the excess, and then any excess that can't go in the shulker box gets voided. And what I am really loving about this is that occasionally, very rare bits of armor will come from this system, such as the quantum suit, which allows me to run really quickly, and also checks off one of the final tasks on our task board, which is flight, because the quantum suit body armor allows you to fly. Now, I'm not sure if there's a hover key, and I do have multi-jump on my boots, but being able to fly, at least in this limited capacity, is a huge time saver. I was getting very sick of swimming up the sides of these while carving out the holes. But I think to finish off this episode, we should probably move our storage system over to the drip cave. I prepared the first permanent room that is going to store most of our machines, and I'm thinking that the applied energistics system, for the meantime, can go here. It's not going to be very useful. It's not going to be incredibly useful at the moment, given we don't really have any of the infrastructure set up to do things like P2P tunnels. But they're not that expensive, and honestly, once we get more controllers and start to automate and auto-craft, applied energistics will speed up so much. But for now, let's just start loading up drives and send it over to the base. This has got to be the most satisfying part about getting applied energistics. It's just getting rid of your trashy storage system, just shifting everything into it. It's going to be a mess, but it's just so worth it. So it has been a hot minute since the game crash that we just experienced. And in that time, a lot has gotten done, mostly out of frustration. So we have moved all of our items out of the original house, with the exception of the machines, but that's not important yet. What we have done, however, has started to set up our applied energistics room and move our machines onto an auto-crafting system. Very basic, but incredibly useful. And the first step in any auto-crafting system is to always be able to auto-craft more components for that system. And so now we have an ability to make more patterns, interfaces, quartz glass, formation cores, annihilation cores, everything that we need so far. And we're going to expand our recipes as we go along, but for now, I think that's probably enough time on this episode. Well, now actually thinking about it, we probably do have a little bit more time this week to just set up some final auto-crafting before we go absolutely crazy on what I've planned for next episode. So some of the most annoying recipes in IC2 are going to be these cables, and cables can be made from plates in a metal former without requiring a tool, which is fantastic. We also want a way to make our item casings, and the only way to make that without automating the metal press is going to be in the metal former. So I've set up 2 metal formers, but we have a problem. Ender energy conduits don't actually connect to them, which means we need to make some mechanism universal cables, and electric steel is easy, but this redstone iron wiring we don't have. And we don't have any of this wireless RF heating coil because we need a resonator. So we need to make a resonator, which means we're going to need to make some coal coke. I think we have everything else that we need. It's just coal coke and some Chinese glass. Well, there's our piece of Chinese glass. There's the coke. There's the block of coke. And there's the resonator. Wondering, does that unlock any quests for us? Oh, we've already done it. Okay. So last I checked, we do actually have a bunch of fire mills. So operates when placed over fire. Well, we've got netherrack and flint and steel. And we've got a nice nether portal that we can place our fire mills over. And note that we are now making 24. Beautiful. I have no idea if these are actually hard to make. I don't think they are. We've definitely got to expand this room another way, but now we've got our resonator. So we can turn 16 iron bars. Surely we have some speed upgrades, right? Oh, we don't. How hard are they to make? Need some gold pressure plates to upgrade. So what does this do? Uses the RF energy stored in the wireless batteries to create heat. Ah, okay, that's for furnaces. You put those in the bottom of furnaces. We don't care about that. We want our upgrade base, and we want speed. More speed equals more better. I think one more will do. Or not. I don't think we have any grid power left. Okay, maybe one speed upgrade is all we deserve. No. Okay, no speed upgrades for these wireless heating coils. But we need 4 of them. And we are going to need some Inori crystals, so we'll have to make the atomic reconstructor. Luckily, I did plan on that, so we have everything for it. Well, we'll definitely turn it off. But Inori crystals are iron, so let's just grab a stack of iron and convert it into crystals. Okay, I have my magnet on, so that's not going to work. There we go. There is a stack of Inori crystals. And there's our final heating coil. So we can make our... No, we can't, not yet. Basic coils are going to require aluminium wire. So we can make 4 wire, that's no stress. There's a coil. We need 3. More aluminium wires it is then. We'll put some aluminium into the pressurizer to make it into plates. And then let's just shear as many as we need. So 8, I believe. There's basic coils. There's... Oh, no. I suppose we're going to have to place this in manually. There's our redstone iron wiring, which I think we're going to need more of these in the future, judging by all of these turbines. Okay, and electric steel is silicon and steel. Do you have any silicon? No, we don't. So we just need sand in a crushing factory. And that'll make us silicon. And then we need steel and the silicon into the alloy smelter. And there's electrical steel. So now we can make our basic universal cables. And I think we might as well just upgrade them into the advanced. Well, someone's done a less than stellar job at planning this out. Because we're going to need to run the power here. We can turn those off because those look awful. I just messed up that interface. So now these have power. They're going to be very slow, however, but that's okay. But now let's finish off this episode with a bang. The ultimate goal of what we're about to try and do is to get mana-infused ingots. And funnily enough, we can actually get mana-infused ore from the laser drills. And so what we want to do is make a laser base and some laser drills and start passiving some ores so then we can make even more. So let's start. There's only one way to do this, and it really is to just see what we're missing. So we're missing that, and that. Sweet, cool. So pretty sure we can already make a refined glowstone block. Dense gold plates. We can just pressurize 9 gold plates. We need 2 of them, so let's pressurize 9 gold plates. There are dense. Already off to a good start. Okay. Okay. Right. This is where the fun can begin. But let's make our diamond gears first. So, yeah, that's going to require all those machine frames. Alright. Back over at the metal press, we will make a bunch of diamond gears. And we can actually speed this up, and it looks really silly. Oh, I suppose not. Oh well. There we go. 16 gears. Heading back to the cave, now we need osmiridium, which we need to make in an alloy. We need to make in the smeltery out of osmium and iridium. So we're going to make... luckily we have just enough. That is fantastic. So 5 and 5 will make 10, which is all we need for a block of osmiridium. And there's just blocks of cobalt in there. Nice. Do any of these alloy with cobalt? Let's just find out. Otherwise we should be fine. Okay, none of them alloy with cobalt, so we can place that in there, being pretty safe that we'll get our osmiridium. Righty, so there's our 1 block and 1 ingot of osmiridium. May as well cast out the block and the ingot. And of course we have to wait so long for this thing to dry. So the last thing now is the machine frame, and that's going to take Inori crystals, heavy engineering blocks, the RF tools machine frame, a device frame, Tesla core lib, and iron casing. Now device frame we can actually just craft. We can replicate our machine casing, our heavy engineering block, our iron casing, and now all we need is the machine frame from RF tools. So let's see what we need. All right, we have the pink slime. Now we need is a range upgrade. Any range add-on will do. And the final one is going to be these heat vents, which all we're missing is the motor, which means coils. All right, so let's just grab a stack of copper and throw it through the wire mill. We need to make it into plates first. So stack of plates through the wire mill, and that is slow as all hell. And it's not even getting enough power. There's no way they're not even draining. All right, let's fix this. And there we go, that's working fine. So let's just give that some time in a bottle, make that go nice and fast. How about even faster? There we are, good. There we go, so we'll make some coils. And then 2 electric motors for 2 heat vents. 1 and 2. And now we have our machine frame from RF Tools. And we have just unlocked the RF Tools gate, which is very nice. I think the energy cell frame is harder to make. Let's just check that. Well, let's just get the energy cell basic. We then need to replicate ourselves another machine casing. Definitely want to start scanning. We'll scan a machine frame, give it some acceleration. And done. Save. Import from the crystal. Now we have our machine casing. And we can just replicate another RF Tools machine frame. May as well, right? Okay, so the machine frame just needs 4 Inori crystals and our device frame. So we have our device frame, 4 crystals. And it looks like it needs to be made in our thermionic fabricator. So back home, we can clear the recipe. Put some more glass in there. And then press the plus. Throw it all in. Done. Machine frames. And that should unlock thermal expansion. Very nice. And, oh, we get all of these. Cool. Claim the rewards. More machine frames. Let's go scan this. Alrighty, scan the machine frame. And now with 2 left, we should be able to make 1 laser drill. Almost. Let's make the laser base. The laser drill is going to need a block of refined glowstone again. And the laser matrix focus, which is reactor glass, reactor frame, steel casing. So we need some more steel casings. So let's just repeat run our duplication. Speed it up just a little bit. And 7 should be enough. Reactor frame, reactor glass, laser focus matrix, laser drill. So I think we need to make more laser drills. I think we can have at most 4 of them. So we're going to need 3 more blocks of refined glowstone, 4 more steel casings, 2 machine frames, and here we have our laser drill setup all done and dusted. So 4 laser drills. I've also gone ahead and put the energy upgrades in, which aren't too expensive, but they do make it just faster using the same amount of power. So this is taking 16,000 RF per tick and gets us some pretty crazy items. We now have our biome essence ore. That's pretty cool. I have absolutely no idea what that's useful for. It just looks like different trees. And we also get things like iridium ingots, and the one that we really want is the mana infused ingots. So it'll take a long time, but eventually we can turn these into gears and turn them into sieves, which will be our free resources for the rest of the game, or at least until environmental craft. But with that being said, my friends, it is time for this episode to end. Thank you to all of the support on this series so far. It has been fantastic. Thank you all for watching. If you like the video, you know what to do. Like the video, comment on the video, and subscribe. And if you want to see these videos early, you can become a channel member, and don't forget to join the Discord. And with that, I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.